So, great news, guys. There is a brand new dog hater on the block, who already hates my fucking guts.
Sound of the alarm, everybody say across over the wall. Kill them a wine, man, no bad man, girl, got no time to wait, no time at all.
No one makes an entrance like you.
So recently, a few of my subscribers have asked me if I can take a look at a new dog hating channel which only popped up last week, but got a bit of attention due to the person running the channel being a big fan of canine aversion. The channel itself is pretty much run by one of her fanboys, who does no research into his statements, presents no evidence or data for what he claims in his videos, but just blindly copies whatever canine aversion says in her channel, and then just repeats it within his own videos. Today we're taking a look at his video being 5 reasons why everybody should hate dogs, because I had to say his video in question was very fucking weak. It was nothing more than twisted numbers, misconceptions, false data, false generalizations, nitpicks, and using personal experiences as evidence. The video itself was pretty poor, but what shocked me more was how he deals with people telling him that, which explains why I said at the beginning of this episode why he has a problem with me. I said in a comment that this guy's video was not factual and that he didn't really have any knowledge on dogs and dog behaviour. Basic borderline criticism. I didn't insult him, I didn't attack him, I was just displaying a different viewpoint. He replied back telling me to piss off. Attacked me with one of the most amazing insults I've ever seen. I mean, 40-year-old man, what an insult! And then he went on about how I bully smaller channels and channels that are smaller than me because I wouldn't dare to tackle a bigger channel. Really? I rest my case, because in reality, mate, when it comes to your subscriber count, it means jack shit to me. I don't respond and criticise videos based on how popular the channels are. My responses are for the purposes of criticism, commentary, disapproval, mockery, comedy, review, or giving negative or positive feedback on certain pieces of content that I have seen. Your subscriber count doesn't affect your ability to be a shitty person or make a shitty video. Basically, when it comes to talking about certain topics, it's what you say within your videos, not how many subscribers you have, which gets my focus. Which is why I want to discuss this video today, because there's a lot of faults within this video, and there's a lot of things that you do say within this video which are pretty weak. So let's jump into the first of his 5 reasons why everybody should hate dogs.
So anyway, at number 5, dogs are just loud. Noise pollution. It's a very, very real thing. And I think, in my opinion, dogs are the main cause of noise pollution.
That's not fucking written anywhere.
Well, your opinion is wrong. Because if you took some time to do some research into the main contributors to noise pollution, rather than listening to a source who admitted on a recording that she was planning to kill dogs in the past, that the main contributors to noise pollution comes from transportation and its increasing levels and industrial causes, which, as one article states, residents in areas neighbouring industries or manufacturing facilities report intense sound levels that can damage hearing abilities. Dogs are not contributing to damaging hearing abilities. Another contributor is poor urban planning, which dogs that continuously bark, and I mean excessively bark, can fall under as a factor. But so can crying babies and fighting couples in those certain areas. Should we now hate all babies because a crying baby can be loud? Can barking dogs be annoying? Yeah, constant barking dogs can be very annoying, but it's not something which is impossible to stop. With good training methods and education on why dogs bark in the first place, you can lower the chances of your dog getting into the habit of constantly barking, and in fact eliminate it from the dogs and control it. But you cannot stop barking from dogs in general. Barking is a form of communication within the species, with data to support that barking is a means of expression that becomes increasingly sophisticated during domestication. However, constant barking is something which you can control. You can train your dog to understand certain commands to stop barking when you tell the dog to stop barking.
I had to wait 20 minutes just to start this video because there was a dog barking outside. It's so ironic. And that specific dog is out there, I'd say 18 of the 24 hours of the day, just barking. Never stops. And I know not all dogs bark, but most of them do. I'd say the majority of them do. 95%. Bark, just randomly at nothing.
This is something which happens quite a few times within his video. He relies on personal experiences as evidence, and he brings up his own personal experiences, which involves just one situation, to use as data and backing points to his bullshit claims which he presents in his video. Yet what we had to keep in mind is that when we're arguing about dog bites, the statistics, dogs barking and so on, personal experiences is not reliable information. It's only your side of the story. It's not a full description or representation of all dogs in the world that live alongside humans. I'm surprised you're not spending your time trying to deal with the situation, but rather you're wasting your time making false generalizations and representations of all dogs because of your incapability to do basic research into dogs and dog behaviour. Basically, your personal experiences mean jack shit in this argument, and funny enough, within this video, he does do this a lot because he brings up no evidence to back up any of his claims within his video.
Which leads me to number 4. Dogs are vicious and unpredictable. You know, I had my sister. We were down in Arizona visiting my uncle. And she reached down to pet their dog that they said they've had for 8 years and never attacked anyone. It lunged up and bit her for no reason. All she did was reach down to pet it. It had no reason to justify biting her. It just did it. Because dogs are dumb. They have predatory instinct, which is untrainable. Because dog worshippers are always saying that you have to train your dog right. That's just, no matter how you train them, they'll still be unpredictable.
I have never heard such bollocks in all my life. First of all, once again, you're basing your statements on personal experiences which cannot be used as evidence in this argument, as they don't represent all dogs in general, and secondly, let me make one thing clear to you. Dogs can be dangerous and unpredictable, if the owners allow it to happen. You have to remember that due to the different brain capacities of dogs compared to humans, as dogs cannot understand fully certain situations and events that humans can, it's up to the owner to make sure that their dogs are perfectly safe around people and that their dogs are not scared, stressed out, or falling under any of the other categories which increases a dog's aggression, which can increase the chances of an attack. When looking into dog bite related injuries, we had to keep in mind that the highest percentage of these injuries occurred because no one was present to stop it. And looking into the recorded numbers and statistics of dog bite related injuries, dog bites and attacks only make up to 2% each year, with only 0.3% of that 2% being serious cases that require serious medical attention, such as surgery, including reconstructive surgery. A massive 81% didn't need any medical attention due to them being minor or causing no injury whatsoever. A large majority of dog attacks and dog bites are not serious cases. What has been presented here is nothing more than false misconceptions about the majority of dogs based on his own personal experiences, which can't be used in this argument as a form of evidence. As to argue that dogs are untrainable is also incorrect, and another false generalization about the dog population. You want to go into predatorial behaviour? Let me show you some facts, mate. Documents regarding canine origins, behaviour and evolution explains that dogs can easily become socialised. Trainability and socialisation shows the differences between domesticated dogs. Experts on canine behaviour with years of experience have pointed out that domesticated early dogs evolved from wolf groups due to feeding from human leftovers, evolving into increasingly tamed animals who are able to tolerate humans. This eliminated the need for dogs to hunt. Basically, domesticated dogs and training them has helped with removing that predatory behaviour within dogs, but we must hold that responsibility to make sure our dogs are not angry, aggressive, stressed out, anything which can trigger a reaction which can increase an attack, because you have to remember, all dog bite related injuries are provoked by something. There is always a trigger point, there's always something which triggers a dog attack. A dog doesn't just randomly attack someone, let's just keep that in mind. But as the World Health Organization pointed out when talking about rabies, education on dog behaviour is beneficial with lowering the risk of being bitten by a dog. There are many different methods and ways you can train your dog. While some work better than others and a few don't have that much effect, it's possible to train your dog. It's been proven that you can train your dog. Dogs untrainable? What about police dogs, guide dogs, army dogs, sniffer dogs? You really want to debate me about this, mate?
Oh, there's 4.7 million attacks in the US each year, which is not an insignificant number. That is a lot. And I did research this before I made this video, so I'm not using bullcrap evidence. 15,000 to 20,000 people are killed by dogs each year.
You're a fuckhead! That's what you are! A fucking
shithead! Your numbers are far off indeed, because 20,000 is not the number of people killed by dogs each year. It's the number of people killed by rabies each year. What has happened here is that he's based his number off an article that came on a version linked in her rabies video. This is the article in question, talking about how a study explains that rabies transmitted by dogs kills 60,000 people a year. But what they fail to take into account is the reasoning to why this is happening and the locations where the highest outbreaks of rabies are. As the article states, India has the highest number of fatalities, with more than 20,000 human deaths annually. There is our 20,000 number that he is using within his video. Now let's also remember that in the UK, the United States, Canada and so on, death by rabies is extremely rare. Because as the article also stated, the countries that have invested most in dog vaccinations are the ones where human death from the disease have been virtually eliminated. India financially cannot support the level of vaccinations and resources needed to contain and eliminate rabies, which is why the numbers are higher in less developed countries than others. It's not a case of all dogs are just infected with rabies. It's a case of these certain countries not being able to financially be in a position to prevent dogs from being infected and getting better access to vaccinations that can eliminate the risk. As the World Health Organization pointed out in their page about rabies, rabies elimination is feasible through vaccinations of dogs and prevention of dog bites. That's what we had to remember. Rabies can be stopped. The dogs who are transmitting the disease, almost all of them are living in areas which cannot financially support a vaccination program which can eliminate the virus from them. But when you actually look at how many people are killed by dogs each year, it's actually 20 to 50 people, not 20,000, because that's how many people are killed by rabies.
And to put this into perspective, people are terrified of sharks. I think we can all agree on that. But sharks only kill about 10 people a year. But people love the animal that kills 20,000. That is insane.
Want to know what I think?
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I really am just gonna be. I'm just gonna say it. How fucking stupid do you have to be? Okay, let's just examine why there is a higher number of dog attacks rather than shark attacks, shall we? I can't believe I'm about to do this because it's basic common knowledge, but let's do it anyway. There are millions of dogs that live alongside humans every single day. Millions of them are owned by humans and are pets for humans. Dogs are alongside humans within society 24/7, around their owners and many other people within society. Now let's take a look at sharks. They live in the ocean. They cannot physically live alongside humans within society because they're fucking sharks. They cannot physically survive on land. So, let me ask the question. Why the fuck do you think dog attacks are higher than shark attacks? I'll give you a few seconds. I mean, come on, dog haters. It's a pretty simple concept.
Number 3. Dogs are smelly. They're really smelly. You could walk into a stranger's home and tell you've never met this person in your life. You could tell if they have a dog or not based on the smell, based on the wet dog stench. You could just tell. All dog worshippers, when I bring up the subject that they smell, get really defensive and say their dog doesn't smell. But the reality is, they're just used to it. If they were to spend a week outside of their home and come back, they would notice the smell. Or not even a week, like a month. They would notice the smell.
And exactly how would you know if all dogs have bad smells? I mean, do you go around sniffing the asses of your best friend's dogs before you go to school? I mean, how exactly would you know? Because dogs have many different smells. For example, my dog's feet smells like biscuits for some reason. But the thing is, yes, dogs can smell. It can sometimes be a sign of a certain illness, or triggered by certain elements like water. But the fact that you're trying to argue that this is a reason for your dog-free future, it's just extremely nitpicky. At the end of the day, that's what this guy wants. He wants a dog-free future because he gets stressed out by dogs existing, and he thinks that his issues are more important than everybody else in society.
Number 2. Dogs are ugly, and in my opinion, this is a fact. It is shocking to me that people would be wanting to own an animal so ugly.
So in your opinion, it's a fact. Well, it's not a fact then, is it? Because it's your opinion, mate. The idea that dogs are ugly is a subjective opinion because there is no right or wrong answer. Because people have different ideas and views on the question. It cannot be proven to be right or wrong because it's a subjective view. People are going to have different views. So no, it's not factual. It's your personal opinion on dogs. It's a subjective opinion. I think some dogs are cute. You think all dogs are ugly. These are our opinions. It's not factual, mate. Learn the fucking difference.
Anyway, number one, dogs contaminate our water source. This is a fact. Just last week, I went on a scout trip, and we went up to these hot springs, and these people had their mutt with them, and they put it in the hot spring, contaminating the entire water source. It's just nasty, and I wanted to go sit in it, you know, because it's warm, and they put their mutt in it, and it's just disgusted me, because who knows what bacteria that dog has. It's just contaminated the entire hot spring.
Are you fucking kidding me? Let's examine this, shall we? When you look at water pollution, the main contributor tells to be pollution from sewage water, oil, and radioactive substances and chemicals. Dogs are not even mentioned because dogs pose very little threat to it. However, it's what comes out of a dog which can be trouble. As one source will tell you, dog crap can affect your drinking water, which is why it's important to clean up after your dogs because the bacteria from it can get into the soil and is washed away by rainwater. While dogs themselves pose no threat when it comes to water contamination, dog crap is not good, which is why society tells us not to leave it lying around and always pick it up after your dog's been to the toilet. So you want to ban dogs because they got to go for a shit? I mean, that's just ridiculous. Especially when simply picking up the shit and putting it in the bin would actually be more helpful. Well, that's the end of the video. Those were his 5 reasons, which again, in my opinion, were pretty weak and filled with many errors. But at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with hating dogs, so do what you want. If you want to hate dogs, then go ahead. As long as you're not harming any dogs or any other animals, you have every right to hate dogs. But before I go, I just want to make it clear to this individual, because he doesn't seem to be very happy with me making a negative statement about his video. He thinks it's cyberbullying. He thinks that I'm a 40-year-old man bullying smaller channels. But I want to make this clear. Your video is weak. And I think your reaction to me telling you this is pretty fucking ridiculous. Especially when you wanted people to see this video in the first place. You made it public. You uploaded it to the internet. I didn't make you do that. You made this video public to the internet because you wanted people to see it. You can't suddenly throw a hissy fit because it's not going your way. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Have fun, my friends. I will see you another day. I am now off.